This is the Optimal Wellness Podcast, helping you achieve optimal wellness naturally, with your host, Dr. Clifford Fetters of Health and Wellness of Carmel.
Welcome to the Optimal Wellness Podcast. I'm Cassie Waters, as always, here with Dr. Clifford Fetters. Today, we are going to be talking about stress. April is Stress Awareness Month. To start out, let's just get into how stress is defined in the medical community in general and why it's so important to treat it.
Sure. So stress is just the physiological response of the body to a unique situation. Even your mother said stress will kill you.
Yeah.
Because stress, when you're stressful in the situation, let's say someone that you had a fight with recently and they appear suddenly in public. And so what happens? Your adrenals kick in. Your adrenals produce cortisol. Your heart starts beating fast. You start perspiring. You can feel shaky. And then that just leads to change in biochemistry. So your brain, you have more anxiety, nervousness. Sometimes it can just lead to immediate headaches. Just this huge response to the body, both emotionally and physically. And that when people have a heart attack, it's like when you have this surge of adrenaline, that puts an added stress on your heart and your body, and that can lead to all kinds of bad things.
I've seen things where they talk about somebody who's been through intense emotional trauma, like their body responds almost the same as them being in a car crash or something because of that adrenaline and cortisol.
Yeah, and post-traumatic stress disorder, I mean, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Like they see an event that should be benign, and they just have this triggering effect. It's just something that reminds them of something else, and it can be devastating to people.
So there is this thing called eustress, right? And that's a positive stress.
Right. So I'm doing sports. I used to run track, and before I started running, it's like my heart was pounding and my everything was dilated. But if you want to be an athlete, you want your blood vessels dilated. You want to get as much adrenaline for your muscles for that short burst. But if you're running a quarter mile, you need 50 seconds to have that energy.
Yeah.
But it can't be for the entire day.
Right.
So you have some good stress and just before athletic performances or before you even make a speech. If you are a speaker, you get this big surge, just like, you feel like Superwoman or Superman, and you can be charismatic and not be your normal self.
Yeah.
I'm sure shy people. Yeah. When they're performing, it's like, oh my gosh, this person's amazing. Yeah. It's just because they've trained their adrenaline response in a positive way rather than negative.
Yeah. You'll see Tony Robbins does that. Like he gets these big, and you're like, what is he doing? And then he's able to walk out and have this amazing response. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Because Tony Robbins is not always like that.
Yeah.
His family, but when he's performing and the stress really brings him to the.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very interesting. So there are different types of stress, like acute, chronic, acute.
Yeah, I mean, acute stress, again, sometimes that's good. If there's a bear chasing after you, you got to decide what to do. And the human body and the brain can respond so rapidly. So sometimes to make what decisions, you want that adrenaline surge.
Right.
So acutely, it's for your survival benefit,
Yeah.
But chronic stress, that's what just chronically having high cortisol, high sugar, increased risk of cancer, heart disease, everything bad. And making bad decisions.
Yeah.
You could totally mess with your biochemistry, and we'll get to that. But, when you have normal serotonin, dopamine, GABA, when all those levels are normal, you make good decisions.
Yeah.
But if you're chronically stressed and all your biochemistry is out of balance, you don't make good decisions.
Yeah.
Emotionally and personally with your family or at work. Yeah, that leads to all kinds of devastating consequences.
Another one that you hear a lot about on social media and these greens powders and all these things are treating environmental stress.
Almost everyone has too many heavy metals. So therefore electromagnetic fields are not good. So with too much electricity going through, it actually does stimulate your body and your brain. So it definitely exacerbates that. And also biochemical stress actually causes you to lose, your body has to use minerals and vitamins to deal with that. And you need vitamin minerals to make neurotransmitters and make you happy and feel calm. So, that's why holistic, it's like, everyone needs to take some vitamins and minerals because you can't get enough from the food just to deal with the stress, the environmental stress, but physiological stress from other reasons. Gotcha.
So what are the major physical symptoms and signs of stress on the body?
Yeah, you can just think of yourself. With me, if I'm stressed, my heart will tell me. My heart's beating fast. And with me, if I really get upset, if I get a tremor, it's like I can't hide.
Yeah.
And some people immediately start to, if your muscles get tight, you start getting tension, headaches, and just irritability. And but with me, it's probably the heart breathing faster. And unfortunately, people can hyperventilate, which makes things worse. I have so many. We used to teach breathing, but so many people don't know how to teach the belly deeper breathing that just keeps your pH normal. When you hyperventilate, that messes with your pH. Every enzyme in your system does not work properly, including neurotransmitters. So, just teaching people how to breathe is huge. But being in an environment, and everyone's different. Me, if I want to really study and something's really important, I need quiet. And some people are super social people. They get a stress when they're alone. So some people when I was in the library, I was in the basement. There was hidden places to hide for people like me, and there was all these social. How these people with 50 people, but they did better because they needed the comfort of other people.
Yeah, that's me. I always was like in the library with a bunch of my sorority sisters and people, because it's like I think talking about it like made me digest the information better. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. So the biggest takeaway I have from that is basically helping people understand how to distress themselves, because it doesn't necessarily work for everyone always.
Absolutely. Everyone's unique. And it's just self-reflection. And, that's what psychologists are for. And that's what doctors are for. And if you, that's, a big part of medicine is keep teaching people how to deal with stress. The emotion code, Dr. Weber is the master of emotional release. So the emotion code is his favorite book. If you're a person who likes to do it yourself, the emotion code, there's many books out there, but that's his favorite. And seeing a professional, from everyone's had some emotional trauma, whether they know it or not. So whether you see Dr. Weber or someone that can do different types of emotional release, we have EVOX is something that's amazing. That's a German scientist realized that when you speak, your voice has these normal sine waves. And when you have stress, there's more chaotic waves. And we have a computer analyze a person's voice, they speak, and there's a healing frequency that's sent through the body that actually kind of reframes the brain. But psychologists, PMDR, there's all different ways that psychologists use to try to reframe the way people think, and they react differently to the situation that we bring on stress.
Well, and I think what's interesting about stress too is it's not something you can necessarily just like eliminate from your life, right? So like I always think of like, if you have like a sick partner, a sick child, like that's something you have to manage.
Right.
And it's like, but knowing that there's treatments like that are great because you can work on that and hopefully manage it in a better way. So that kind of leads us into our next segue of treating stress. So what is like the normal conventional side of medicine? How do they treat stress?
A lot of it's the same way as everyone. It's like the main thing is just the way you think of a situation. As a physician, we're taught in traditional medicine, we hear people's problems all day long. So you suck it all in, you do everything you can. And when you walk out the room, it's in their hands, God's hand, whatever your belief system is, and then you want. And if you have a sick child, I can only do so much. I have to have faith in the doctors, the nurses, the other people. So you just have to come to a point where you're at peace. That's the most important thing. Finding your peace, no matter what the situation is. You have to and women, no offense, but women, you guys, that's why you have babies and take care of babies. And, women, you guys take on the world, and you just have to learn that you can only do so much, and you have to leave alone, and you need time for yourself. You have your quiet space. With me, exercise too. Then why as a runner, if I had major stress, I'd run twice as hard. For me. And I think, physical activity burns up nervous energy. If I go more than one day without exercise, I'm lying there like, it's energy. So I need to burn up the energy before I'll be happy.
No, I don't know what I would be without exercise. I'm a better mom, I'm a better spouse, I'm a better coworker, all those things because of it. So you talked a little bit about the EVOX. Is there any other holistic treatments?
Well, the neurochemicals. I mean, most of the people that have had chronic stress, their serotonin, dopamine, GABA, they're all out of balance. So we muscle test. You can go by the symptoms. If they're OCD and fear of heights, then that's lack of serotonin. So we can raise 5-HTP, many ways to raise serotonin. Dopamine, motivation, drive, ambition, and GABA. Just if you can't just get in this relaxed state, often that's a GABA deficiency.
And I what I love about holistic medicine is, you guys get into like root cause, obviously, but you talk to us about like things that are really going on in our lives that you would never think affect that. So like generational trauma, emotional trauma, things like that. Those are questions you guys ask in the holistic community that people hold on to, and they can cause serious damage.
Absolutely right. And then the biggest concern with anxiety, what do people do? If they're not in the holistic world, they smoke, they drink, they do drugs. In fact, I believe 98% of every person who gets hooked on drugs, it's how they deal with anxiety.
Yeah.
Well, let's get the root cause and let's do what needs to be done. Get rid of anxiety. There's no reason they don't even think about the alcohol because there's no, their anxiety's gone. Yeah. And then they learned the exercise to get outside, be with, call up their old friends, just do stuff. And like that, before we forget, it's like social media, the news, unless your business requires to know anything about the news, turn off the news. Yeah. Just turn it off.
Oh, yeah.
The world will be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know? And if you have to have just one little app that you're allowed 5 minutes just to see what's going on, but the lesson in social media, children under 16, I really question should anyone have a smartphone under the age of 16.
Oh yeah, 18. With my kid.
When I was a child, I literally grew up in the 60s. It was love, peace, and understanding. I mean, everyone was hippies. It's like I don't know what's going on right now, but there's nothing new with love, peace, and understanding in social media right now. And that's so devastating for children.
Oh yeah. And I think, especially there are things that now they just put out just to like, I'll feel myself like my heart rate going because I just get so frustrated. And then it's like, I got to get out because this does not affect my life at all. Like, so why am I getting all worked up about it? But I think that's a good segue too, is we've talked about how to treat stress, but preventing it. So I know a lot of people now, you can set a timer on your phone till it arrives. So they turn your social media off so you can stop using it. But are there other ways to just prevent it?
Yeah, routine. Everyone needs a routine. Sleep deprivation is stress by itself.
Yeah. So
you have to have a routine from your exercise time you get up, when you eat. When I get low blood sugar, I will get anxiety just from low blood sugar. Yeah. That's why, the ketogenic, modified ketogenic diet, best thing for me. Fat is so calming for your nervous system. And as you know, sugar just robs you of your magnesium, robs some of your nutrients, and just sugar low when you crash, that causes anxiety. Yeah. So your diet, your routine, your sleep environment, toxic people, you got to get the toxic people, toxic things out of your life and just, find peace where you should be, realizing life is a marathon, now to sprint. And I don't have to be great tomorrow. Yeah. Realizing everything in social media is lying. So, all these people, everything, these perfect people making all this money, they look perfect all the time. Yeah. Behind the scenes, we know it's illusion. Behind the scenes, that's usually the opposite situation.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Some of our listeners were curious. They all want to hear about blood pressure. Yeah. How is high blood pressure related to stress?
Right. So stress releases cortisol. What does cortisol do? It raises blood pressure. Yeah. It raises your blood sugar, which is everything bad. So that's why we have people short term. I have to have people with blood pressure over 200. We have to start things, but just magnesium and many of these vitamins and minerals will just calm the adrenals and calm the blood pressure. So there's adaptogens that will actually lower cortisol. Phosphatidylserine is huge. Something called Adrenamin that lowers cortisol levels. So definitely physiologically, we can help people. And day one, just lowering cortisol levels helps with everything.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That kind of covers all the supplements. Some of the supplements, are there any other ones that you would suggest?
Magnesium is probably no one. Glycine helps. Yeah, but tryptophan helps make serotonin. But 5-HTP is probably our favorite. Just using serotonin by itself, usually the precursors to the neurotransmitters is most important to let your brain figure out. Your body knows the right amount, so we just give you the fuel to make the proper amount. Yeah. Right, but I guess if you're old, even if you're an 18-year-old, if you're an elite athlete, you need to see how much toxins are in your body. And the average 18-year-old boy who's a runner, who's getting a track scholarship, has a lead level 6 to 8 times what it should be.
Oh my God.
Which slows down the methylation cycle, which means you can't make neurotransmitters. That's why some people, I'm prone to anxiety just because I know I've got multiple mutations, MTHFR and COMT and all these different mutations slow down the methylation cycle. So I naturally don't make much serotonin, dopamine. But once I took out all the metals, my muscle tension went away, anxiety, sleep, mood, everything is so much better. So even children now, And children on the spectrum, almost all those kids have too much metals.
Yeah.
And get the metals out and everything works better.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say that because a lot of it in the food is just so different than it used to be, but we can do it
Right, about that, but like that's my appreciate just the amount of nutrients in food. Even the food experts are saying it's too costly to put the vitamins in the ground. By the time it's absorbed into your body, it's just cost prohibitive. So it's much cheaper just to take vitamins than try and just get clean food. You're not poisoning yourself.
Right.
Get the macronutrients, but the micronutrients, it has to come from supplements.
Yeah. So I know the answer to this, but in the holistic community, is it okay to just say, I am so stressed out and I can't figure out what's going on? Can they make an appointment just based on that?
Absolutely. I think all the providers here, it's like, I enjoy treating stress more than anything because that changes the life more than anything. You can't be healthy if you're not in a good state of mind. So for me, I love to deal with stress, and I think everyone here does. And to become most appreciative, and then they can accomplish what they need for all their health needs.
Yeah.
But it really starts in the mind. It starts with stress.
That's great to know, because I think so many people suffer in silence, especially with things that are emotional, stress related, things like that, because they just think, oh, I need to get over it. And when really it can affect a lot of other areas of your body. So going along with the theme of April, you can get 25% off all of our stress management supplements using code STRESS25, all caps, on our website only. So get in there. A lot of the supplements we discussed are on there, but go ahead and surf our website. Anything else you want to add?
Get off social media, get off the news, and get outside. Be with your friends. Call me. I had a Super Bowl party. I invited 10 friends I hadn't seen forever. All 10 showed up. It's like, are you kidding me? And they all said the same thing. We're just so busy. We forget about this. So just get outside, get with your friends, and turn off the TV and turn off the social media.
Thank you for listening to the Optimal Wellness Podcast. Subscribe now to get monthly episodes to help you achieve your wellness goals. And if you'd like to learn how we can help, schedule an appointment at Health and Wellness of Carmel today. Just go to HWOFC.com or call 317-663-7123.